I would. The meeting minutes of November 7th.
I move the motion to accept them minutes as read.
Second. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Do we have audience participation? Audience participation? Come on down, sir. No, it's for you.
Just wanted to address a couple of things. One of them is an item on your agenda. And the other was the article in the paper, Country Journal this week.
Okay. Thank you.
I think it's very unfortunate that we will lose a very qualified, experienced, and well-respected leader in the, as our fire chief is. I'm sure that what happened at the special meeting really led to the cancellation. I just hope that no other volunteer firefighters resign because of his resignation. On the article in the paper, I'm also concerned about what I read, that and the way we seem to be moving forward. Jeff seems to think that we should prioritize the fire station and look at 3 new sites for the land and basically not deal with the highway department. It's 75 years old. And also the land bill in Chester Road. It also seems that he wants to have a private contractor build a metal fire station and lease it to the town. And based upon our experience in this town, we would be leasing that facility for at least 50 years, probably 75, or who knows what, because a building does last a long time. As a former chief financial officer, this would never fly.
Why?
Because why you'd be paying for something for 50 years, 75 years? The cost would be enormous compared to what building yourself is. Because the guy who builds the building, I don't know whose land he's building it on, but whoever builds the building wants to make a profit. And if you think you're going to pay 50 years of leases, and that's cheaper than building your own building, I can only guarantee that I have decades of financial experience. It would never be accepted in any financial
Well,
organization.
I got the idea from Sandersville because they do that. They have fire station is leased from private owners, and I was looking at an option. I'm not saying it's the sensible thing. I'm just throwing it out there as let's look at other things. That's my goal.
I understand looking at other things.
Yep.
I'm only telling you from a financial viewpoint, it wouldn't be an acceptable opportunity.
Well, it costs about 35 to 45% cheaper if it's privately built than us
Well, I was
paying.
going to address that
Yeah.
next thing, assuming that this meets all of the legal requirements of the state. And also assuming that we might miss a number of grant opportunities if we built it ourselves. I just don't think. We're also going to be disregarding all of the work that was done by the professional OPM organization. And the committee that was involved in this for, I don't know, how, a year or more,
Longer.
and what their recommendations were. I just can't go along with that.
Well, you know, if we can only, I'm sorry, Paul, I didn't mean to interrupt you.
But I think it leads into the last point I have. You know, I saw in the paper also that you're interested in having a number of other people become involved in the new committee, interested citizens and other departments. Frequently, what happens with interested citizens or others, there's always a number of people who don't really want to see change, and don't really want to invest in the town's long-term goals, and are only interested in lowering taxes. Now, they always have a voice, but I think it's the responsibility of the select board, the appropriate departments, and perhaps some members of another board, and we should take fresh eyes at what is in the OPM agreement or proposal and look at it. And make sure that our committee, or whatever committee you pick, is kind of small, concise, and has clearly defined goals. And they should be presenting what's good, viable options. And clearly explain the budget implications and the property tax implications of this, so that there shouldn't be any disagreement. The finance committee should agree, the select board should agree, and the people on the committee should agree. I'm not a big believer in very large committees. And the people who have objections to it will be able to present their objections at a town meeting. But it should be the responsibility of that group to present the proposal. That's all I have to say.
Thank you. We appreciate your response to the article.
Well, you know, one of the things, Paul, if you can only afford a 1-car garage or a 2-car garage, that's all you can buy. Nobody seems to know what it's gonna cost us tax dollars. I've asked some other people that I know. They said it could be up to $4.50 a thousand on top of what we're paying to pay for this.
Well, that's their opinion. And
No, and
I
I'm
don't
not
know.
an expert on it. I'm just telling you what I, because I've asked around and I call people. I'm not afraid to ask. And I said, I don't know for sure what the cost would be, but. So if you can get away with a garage that'll just take the fire trucks and we can go and in 5 years, maybe build them something new. I think we got to look at those options. That's
So
just my
if we
opinion.
decide to split the jobs, which is what you're saying, we are out $120,000,
Yeah, you're at 120.
which is silly considering we just voted down 180. So that's really silly to me.
So
Say
that
it's
would-
okay to waste 120, but it's not okay to spend 180 to continue to move forward.
Well, a lot of things change when you build a smaller building.
But
No sprinkler systems.
so
No
here's
this,
the other part would be your, not, people are asking about a total cost. Until we spend this next $180,000, we don't know what the total cost would be. This is our next step. That's part of, then we will get some answers as to the cost, and then we can move forward with how are we gonna pay this? Are there things that we can do to reduce the cost, etc. But until we make that next step, we just have these numbers in the air.
Well, I understand that, but is there other engineering firms that we can look at that aren't from the Boston area? I'm
We
sure
did
you're paying
review
top dollar for them.
We did our due.
They got 26
diligence.
Now, wait a minute, we had a committee that interviewed all the different OPM companies,
Yes,
all right? And then we matched all the criteria and try and get the best and affordable for us.
that's
And
correct.
that's what was done.
But if you get it under $1.5 million, you don't need to pay an OPM 10%.
Well, who's gonna be the project manager then?
You don't need one.
Well, of course you do.
So we,
Okay, if you're going to go for grants
Forget it,
and
forget it.
federal money,
yeah,
you need an OPM.
If you're over $1.5 million.
there's no way to not have it.
Anything that you apply for money for, even a bank is not gonna give you money unless you have a project engineer that's gonna be on the job at the job site to make sure things go the way they're supposed to go.
And I think,
Brainwash.
I agree with that 100%. I was
Yeah.
involved in more than one major construction industry. And first thing I did, I was the project manager, but first thing I did was to hire what we called in Canada a clerk of the works to watch every
Mhm.
hand step.
They used to have
and
those.
bill, and it also watched every change order that came up.
Mhm.
And if you don't do that.
Yep.
You're penny wise and the most pound foolish.
which we haven't in
When you
the
go-
past, which is why, one of the reasons we decided to go that route, because we know that from past experience, that we need someone to do that.
Yes.
And so we went that route, we did our diligence, we did, our RFPs and hired someone for the best price at the best, quality.
I think case in point was the water department building was built and it was supposed to be insulated. Nobody oversaw what was happening. It never got insulated.
Yeah.
To this day.
That's a very good point.
All right, thank you, Paul. We appreciate it. And we
Can I
hate
go
to
now?
see, I really hate to see Chief Mater go, and you brought up a good question about the fire volunteers. I've been meaning to ask him, and I forgot to ask him at the Santa breakfast, what the mood is in the department, because I'm a little nervous about about that right now. Okay, highway update. Come on down.
We did. Grab onto that speaker. With all your might. Your very, your voice comes through very soft for some reason. Thank you.
That's from yelling at your help.
Whenever, yeah,
Talk quieter, make them listen harder.
that's right.
Whispered in, they want to know what you're saying.
Well, anyway, we got the last bill in from the North Blanford Highway. $1,176,817.39.
Is that under budget or was that on over or?
As of right now, it looks like it's gonna be over. $1,176,817.39.
That's the final bill.
That's the final bill. I'm working on actually the very end of what the total is going to be towards the town at the end. Yes, there's probably a number
Mhm.
that's gone over,
Mhm.
which these days you can't help it,
Yep,
you know. It's, well, I reached out to Rainey and he'll be able to come in probably sometime next week. And I got a pile of paper by that thick, sorry, Mr. Chairman. That thick of all the truck tickets and everything else. And need to go through them
okay,
and add them all up and make sure all the tonnage is correct on that. And they did come out and remeasure the road. They stopped 99 times on the road and measured the width. Just to get an accurate count.
Mhm.
Their quote was 76,000 square yards and they measured out, I think it was like 72 or 4, something like that.
How wide is the road?
It varies
Oh,
from
just,
25 feet to
Yeah.
23 feet.
okay, I'm just
And
curious.
that adds up a lot. you
Yeah,
know?
well, it changes as the core.
Other than that, we seem to be ready for the W word as of right now.
The which?
The W word, WINTER or SNW.
How about SNOW?
Okay, I know.
Oh, okay.
I'm trying to get in contact with some of the contractors for next year's projects. As from Crooks and Beach Hill, certain areas, especially Crooks. When it was put down probably 3 years ago, I would say. There's never a top put on it, so I'm gonna try to put an overlay on that. Along with section of Beach Hill. That needs to have a section done on that also. Also trying to get an idea of what we can do with Gore Road in probably about a year or two, probably closer to 2 years on that. We have one thing in our favor, we don't have to worry about tree canopy. That's all taken care of on that. I had the guys go out and measure. I cannot believe how many culverts are on that road. There's almost 20 of them.
Wow,
And they all been replaced, they're all plastic, so we're good to go on
Nice,
that. We
good.
just had to do a lot of shoulder work and get to where the water's supposed to go
Mhm.
on that part. As of, I've been talking to Mr. Gates from Conservation about Gibbs Road,
Mhm.
one of our favorite roads we had. I talked to him and I had the ability to, he gave me the emergency repair, the place. Of that culvert pipe down there.
okay,
So. I can do that. I have a month to finish it. Or do it all in. DEP is working on it, working. With their engineering to replace what I put in for what they want to have in. Makes no sense, but it's either I put one in now. Or if I don't put one in now, I can just close the road down. And everybody don't want to close the road.
Mhm. Okay,
Put one what?
What's that?
Put one what?
Replace the culvert pipe that's there.
Okay.
Yes.
Is it a metal one day?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, they ain't much left to it. It's like this big around with no bottom.
yeah,
No sense of waiting.
Exactly, you know. But yes. That is all I have as of right now. Oh, and your question you had for me last week about all that traffic,
Oh, yeah,
yes, have you found out yet?
no,
Okay. Nobody knew what happened. I talked to the guys, I talked to Matt, the fire department.
Yeah.
He had no idea. Talked to the fire chief, he says, yes, Westville got called out 3 times, not them, there was an accident up here. And they rerouted everybody
Okay.
off and around.
yeah, down Chester Road, that was
Yes.
interesting.
I bet that was.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Somebody's, PJ, did you say you said double?
Yeah, I'm wondering how they got a set of doubles off the turnpike.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah,
So
I saw them, Carousel.
Really? Wow.
Through that gate.
They must have been shorties.
They opened
Oh, they were pups.
have you been out to Nybrook yet to check that out?
Yes.
Okay, cool.
Yes.
Okay.
I went down, it's, the roads. Okay, there's no doubt, is that all the mud's coming off.
Yeah.
They're on the shoulder, like 3 feet off the shoulder.
Okay.
And they're bringing all that mud that's already in.
Out of the, yeah.
Yeah.
So
I went
do you-
down there to, I went down and talk to them
Yep,
and have them, hey, we need to clean this up.
yep,
So, once I get a hold of Mr. Gates and he can communicate with me on who it is and all
Okay.
that stuff. I'd rather be there personally to
Sure.
to inform them on that.
do you know if we got the bonds that we needed from them before they started logging?
That happened. I had no idea they were logging down the job.
Okay. So maybe that might be something we have to look into then.
It all starts. When a logger comes in, it goes to conservation.
Uh-huh, so they would have gotten the,
They get everything.
okay, so that's what we have to ask Dick then. if
The
we
only
got
thing
the-
they do not get is if Springfield water decides to do logging. And. Oh, yeah, exactly.
Okay,
Yeah, they do it and they do it and we go.
Okay.
I don't think it's right, but
will you check with Dick Gates and see? if
Yeah.
That was done,
Yeah.
thank you. All right, thank
Anything
you.
else?
I don't think I have any other questions.
awesome, thank you.
Thanks, Dave. All right, Christopher. You're up.
All right. So first, the good news. So Kevin Green will be here next Monday to be sworn in for the finance committee. We had to delay it a week because Dr. Hobson is still in Florida.
Okay,
But so he'll be here, Doris will be here,
okay,
and we'll be able to go through with that. So that'll be good. In terms of grant updates, so I submitted the application for the second round of redo funding for the digital smart town crier sign, whatever you want to call it. So we'll wait to hear back on that. Other good news, Chester and Blandford were awarded the $178,000 for
Great.
the efficiency and regionalization grant for the shared water operators. We're gonna have a meeting on Thursday at 4:30 with all the water commissioners, et cetera. Let's talk that over. Sounds like there's some folks on the Chester side who have some different ideas about it now, so we'll have to kind of
Oh, okay.
figure out what's going on there. But Ira's, he's doing a good job wrangling everyone.
okay,
And then in terms of the municipal vulnerability preparedness grant for our dirt roads. We are gonna have a kickoff of the project advisory committee on December 20th. So theoretically, right now, that's gonna be me, Dave, Margaret, because we want to involve seniors in the project a bit. And hopefully Dick Gates, though I haven't heard back from him just yet.
okay,
And then everyone from the other 2 towns, Middlefield and Chester as well. And at that meeting, we're gonna be hopefully meeting with somebody from Sheffield. They went through a similar project a couple of years ago, so we want to kind of download some lessons. And then also as part of that project, we're gonna be looking to hire a community liaison. So that's somebody, there's a $5,000 in the grant to do this. So that would be somebody who, makes residents of dirt roads aware that we're doing this project. So we can hear from them a little bit.
great,
So if anyone has any thoughts on, someone who would be good at that, that would be great to have as well.
okay,
And then just real quick on the ADA transition plan. So the site visits went off without a hitch last week. Thanks to all our department heads who let them walk around our buildings. So we're all set on that piece. And so we should be getting a report back on, here is all the changes that need to be made.
Okay.
And then again, we can take that document and apply for funding using it. And then one update on the Board of Assessors. So our tax classification hearing is now tentatively scheduled for December 12th. I'm gonna check in with Dr. Hobson when he's in this week, make sure it gets posted. But likely we would just hold that, you know, before this meeting.
Okay. So like 5:45?
Or something, yeah,
Okay.
yep.
I don't think it's long usually, and
Right, it's just
we stick with the regular.
we all agree that the rates are the same, and,
Yeah.
yep. And then some
Oh,
bad news, so yeah, I got summoned for grand jury service in Hampshire County.
Yeah,
So it starts January 3rd. As I understand it, they have 45 people to choose from, and then they narrow it down to 23.
mhm.
I will make my case to the judge that, you know,
Yeah.
I've got a lot on my plate.
Yeah, yeah.
He might not care. We'll
I'm
see.
gonna tell the judges I'm not gonna let him go.
I believe if I did end up having to serve, it would basically mean on Tuesdays I would be up there.
Okay,
And then depending on what time they let us out, I would either be down here or
okay,
finish the job up there, so. So more to
Okay.
come on that front. But yeah, that's all I have for the moment.
all right. Well, thank you.
Please note that, we gave you, meeting minutes to be approved. They're not on the agenda. They're
We
just
did
gonna-
that. We did it first off.
Oh.
You were finagling with the recording.
Got it.
All right, so we have the action item back on for Blanford Country Store liquor license. And Jennifer, hi Jennifer.
I have just one thing to ask,
Sure.
but I can wait until you make your decision.
Oh, that's fine. You're welcome to come on up.
No,
We had
please.
talked about that it had said on the front this says to
It
expose,
was one word.
keep for sale and sell. So we just had to change one word on the front of it. It
Thanks,
was,
Michelle.
So it was
Jeff
a
picked it.
clerical error and
Yes.
yeah,
That's all we were looking for, Jen.
not a insurance issue.
no, yeah,
Got
that-
that
What,
clear?
your insurance says package store. You know, and I just wanted to make sure you were covered is what I was worried
For
about.
what? Commissioner would come in.
Exactly, and then he's gonna maybe bother us because we wrote it up wrong and then bother you, and I don't want you to go through it. That's why I was asking about it, basically.
Right.
And I, like I told you, no problem with me next door. Okay,
Right.
well, that's my thought. Thank you.
You want
That's all I
to
wanted.
give this to Jeff so we can polish his table?
So, I would make, oh no,
Hey, oh, man.
I would entertain a motion to approve
Just reread it.
the Blanford Country Store liquor license application.
Second.
Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right, there you go. Should be all set. Warrant number 11, I have in here.
Okay.
I see that we don't have the, we don't have the payroll again.
No.
So have we heard anything back from, this is Sarah we were checking in with?
No, I haven't even talked to her about it. It's, Sean that announces to me he hasn't received it. And then I just wait for it to arrive and call you guys. back.
I spoke with Sarah about it on Friday morning at our regular call. She said she's, you know, we should just be sending it to the payroll at townofblanford.com. And she's got someone doing it, but she's also helping out.
Okay,
So I'm happy to let her know, hey, we're not getting this on
Mhm.
time. We need to change this up. So
thank you. All right, so I would make a motion to approve the warrant number, or entertain a motion to approve warrant number 11, which is the one you just signed.
Okay, so we're all set.
So moved, someone says?
Yep. Second.
He said that.
Second.
Second, discussion, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right, so then we have a memorandum of understanding with Department of Transportation for the speed signs.
yes, and I'll speak to that really quick. So I know this is probably deja vu. We just did the
Yeah.
same thing pretty much last week. So in addition to the feedback signs that they're giving us that will, you know, tell you your speed, they are also installing regular static signage at a location in Blanford that they found had a lot of off the road crashes.
Okay,
So that's Curtis Hall Road and Otis Tollins.
okay,
I guess there's a
That was
sharp
the corner.
there's a
Yeah.
sharp curve
Yeah.
there, yep, yeah. So it's the same thing, and I think I have to actually get you a copy of it.
I don't have anything to sign for
yeah.
that. I just have the PVPC thing here.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we'll get you a copy to sign, but
What was the other road? I'm sorry, Curtis. Hall.
Curtis Hall.
I think it's on there, actually.
Oh, yeah.
Otis Tollin.
Colin.
So, I would entertain a motion to, approve the memorandum of understanding with the Mass Department of Transportation for a turn chevron and speed signs at Otis Town and Curtis Hall Road.
So moved.
Second discussion, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Yes. John Laurie Bocan, come on down.
You just-
How are you? Good. What brings you guys here today? Something with Eversource activity?
Yes, yeah. There was the first ice storm and a truck ended up in the ditch on the side, and if we had had an emergency, whether it be fire or police or ambulance, we would not have had those services because the truck was blocking.
Which road is this again? Remind me.
Shepherd.
Okay, okay.
You know, so that's what brings us here.
Okay.
After probably a skating voice note that I left. It is very, very aggravating because I am going to give her for my mom.
Mhm.
And there are other people on the street that also look at the same thing. So, question, the last time we were here, we were talking about a speed limit study
Yes,
sign, was that ever completed?
So we, we looked into the cost a little bit. It was gonna be pretty substantial for, a road of that size.
Mhm.
So we moved that, portable feedback sign. It sounded at least anecdotally like it had helped reduce speeds a bit. And then Eversource informed us that they were gonna be having less truck traffic to that location because they had completed some resiliency project.
Mhm.
If you want, we can certainly look further into, some kind of speed study there. I've spoken,
If something is, it's in my head, it's documented, it's there, you're not supposed to go above the speed.
Mhm.
Mhm.
So just, I can't run out in the street and say you're going too fast if I have nothing.
Right, yeah.
Chris, did you find that there wasn't actually a speed limit for the road?
Well, it's just that if it's not posted, then it depends on the type of road, and I think it's 35 is what we found out based on the parameters for that road.
So can we just
So-
post that? Can we just order 35 miles per hour signs and put those up or? Okay. Can we do that then? Will you do that? You're on it. You got it. It's happening.
Excellent.
Maybe you know, I don't know. Is that gonna be a permanent facility for Eversource there? I noticed.
Not
when
that I
was out
know
that
of.
way, It's all fenced off. They got offices there.
This is all temporary.
Yeah, they're staging it. I happen to know someone who works there and he did some work there. He said it's a staging so they can do other projects, but they try to centrally locate it. And I guess to get the steel or something they're working with, is there steel in there? Or why?
Yeah, there's still.
They need to get it ahead of time so they can actually not hold their projects up. So that's why they rented that piece of property.
Now, did this rental property, did it have to go through the town at all? Because of any heavy trucks or, I know when you log.
Right.
You have to have roads that can carry the weight.
Yeah,
Sure.
yeah.
Yeah.
So, and we got real wire comes down, it was 20,000 a piece, you got 2 on
Yeah.
a truck, now that was the truck that,
Yeah.
They,
whatever happened, the guy got stuck.
Yeah, yeah.
Right? So you got 40,000 plus the super, plus the trailer, I mean, you're talking maybe 60,000 pounds or more.
have they posted any bonding for heavy equipment on the road?
Not that I'm aware of.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's it.
Yeah.
I don't know when that facility
yeah.
went in exactly, but
So-
It's already been a couple of years.
yeah.
I
Okay.
think that the way that the bonding situation is written is any vehicles for construction. It's just logging?
I think so.
It's not just logging, it's
don't think
just
so.
it's just hauling over a certain
Yeah.
distance, over a certain weight.
So
It
Over certain-
could be applied.
In other words, the town wasn't aware of the rental of the property, to begin with, right?
since it's been a while, I don't know.
I don't believe so. I have.
I mean, that might have been something that,
So they didn't need.
if it's
permission,
rented
right?
from someone private,
Yeah.
Otherwise it would have shut down and smoked.
That would be like you renting your property,
Exactly.
you know.
Okay.
but we should follow up with the bonds question,
Right.
if they're, damaging the road at all.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because we gotta protect our investment in the road.
Right, right.
I understand what you're.
Well, because a study had to be done for a speed limit sign,
Mhm.
I was wondering if a viability study was done before this project was ever allowed to occur.
No,
And it just,
not to our knowledge.
yeah. It just seems odd because I did speak to Karen Vaughn, and she gave me permission to use the name.
Mhm.
They own the old paintball place. And she said no one from Eversource ever approached her and asked. And they have the U-shaped driveway, they're right off 23.
Right, but the town has no influence.
We
on
can
who
look
can
back
rent
into
the
that
property.
and see if
See if other-
Josh had known anything, or, you know, I know that he worked closely with the.
I'll check in with our liaison there. I don't know exactly when this
Yeah.
all took place, but a couple of years, it sounds like. Yeah, yeah. Yeah.
Next one, I want to address liability.
Mhm.
If someone is denied emergency services because of the present operation on Shepherd Road and loss of life or property occurs, who is liable? Is it the town?
Yeah, I don't know. That would be an attorney question, I think.
But this is, if something happens.
Yeah.
And the precedent, this, because they didn't approach the town, now that.
Mhm. Well, may not have, I mean, as far as we know,
Yeah.
you know, but it could be something that honestly I have forgotten about just because we, you know, we do so many.
Yeah.
things here. Or it was something that maybe Josh just handled, so we
Right.
do have to look into that, so, and have a better answer for you.
All right, the only pro that I could come up with this whole situation is the landowner is making money,
Yeah.
but the cons outweigh the pros.
Mhm.
The neighboring property values decrease possibly, neighbor safety cannot be guaranteed, excessive road wear, and neighbors' quality of life is affected with the noise and. speed.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it wasn't just the Jake breaking. If I lived across the street from them, I'd be probably doubly upset because they have that beeping when they back up their equipment.
Yeah. Mhm.
It's, I walk my dog today, it's constant.
Yeah, yuck.
Anywho,
It's
Okay.
kind of hard to stop something that's in process. You know, it's like, we can't put a cease and desist on it,
I know,
you know, so.
We can find out some more information, how much longer they plan on being there, deal with the bond situation, and then see if there was any viability for the.
right. And, I'm gonna suggest that a bylaw be written to encompass all points mentioned and other negative events we've not lived through yet. Because we don't know what else could
Yeah.
happen. The bylaw should include that the town receive a share of future rental income to be used to fix road, re-erect street signage, etc.
Mhm.
And now I think John wants to talk about Virgil Lloyd Road.
Well, first I want to talk about the speed limit.
Mhm.
Oh,
Now, if you leave Shepherd Road, go to the top of the hill and take a right,
Mhm.
you're now on a state highway that has 2 lanes.
Yeah.
It's marked. There's, what do you call it, shoulder on each side.
Mhm.
Guess what the speed limit is? 35.
Yeah,
Now you're gonna apply the same speed limit to Shepherd Road.
that's a good point.
That one tractor trailer truck can't pass the other unless one pulls over.
Mhm.
I think it's too fast, 35.
I agree with you. I don't know if we can just pick a number though without doing the study.
Right.
I think that the number we have to go with is the 35 if we're gonna just post unless we want to do the study.
I don't think it's the right number. That's what
Yeah,
I'm saying, you
yeah.
can put up 85, 25, whatever you want, but. I can't say 35 on a state highway.
Yeah,
Is okay, but you know, 35 on, I can't.
yeah,
Yeah,
that makes sense.
I can reach out to Eversource. I know whenever I've brought this issue up with them, they've said, we want to be good neighbors, you know, so they, they tried to address the Jake breaks with the drivers, they may be willing to pay for a speed study. They might be willing to offer something like that. So
Okay.
I'll check with them.
That'd be great.
Yeah, they
We
didn't
can't-
find
Oh,
out.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to.
No,
We can't just put up a 25-mile-an-hour speed
No.
limit and say,
You can't just pick a number.
you can't do that. Huh?
Understand?
No, I'm just asking. I don't know. Laws, I guess. It's posted at 35, so you have to go through a study to
Mhm.
say you gotta be lowered. Is that correct?
Yes.
I'm assuming.
I mean, I don't know if you've been on Shepherd.
Oh, many times more than you probably.
You know, as soon as you go down the hill, from walk 23, then you go up another.
Yeah.
Okay, so if you got a car going 35 this way, it's 35 that way,
I know, I was just out there last week, actually.
and nothing against the highway department, but
Rainy.
usually in the winter, it's a 1 lane road.
Mhm.
doesn't make it
Yeah.
lane and a half, so.
Yeah,
Now I have a solution.
okay,
Maybe somebody won't like it, but there's two ways to get to the storage site.
okay.
One is Shepherd Road,
Mhm,
and the other one is Virgil Lloyd Road.
mhm,
Now, on Virgil Lloyd Road, there isn't a house until almost you get to Shepherd Road.
mhm,
So this would leave Shepherd Road in the event that something happens,
mhm.
somebody gets stuck or whatever. Shepherd Road would be open
For access.
ambulance or
Mhm.
fire truck, police. Or you can come and go as you please. You don't have to wait 4 hours to get to work.
Mhm.
What's the condition of that road?
It's a dirt road.
It's a dirt road.
That's the one
but I
that comes
mean,
out by Blair Pine.
Yes.
Is it something that the highway keeps open? No,
No, we just do a little maintenance on a certain part of it, that's about it.
But you can use it.
It's discontinued.
I believe my, I wouldn't want to drive on.
Okay, so a fire truck can't use it.
No,
We're basically stuck.
Ambulance can't use it.
no.
And definitely a police car, because I bottomed out on that. So we're basically on a dead end.
Right.
So we got 60,000 pound vehicle at the top of the hill, nobody can come and go.
It was an Eversource truck that was stuck.
No, it was a
Subcontract.
contract
Oh,
how long was the road shut down?
for.
4 hours.
I mean, the same thing could happen with a big tree, couldn't it? Not to be the.
That's,
So you need
That's
another
happened.
access. Yeah, I understand what I'm saying. So another access would be awesome, right?
well, we do have, but
Yes.
nobody can use it.
yeah.
Isn't there any
Been a
houses
long
on
time
that road?
been down that road.
There's no camps or houses on that road?
Yeah.
Just one where Shepherd Road goes to the right,
4 now.
going out to
There's
Joe
one on the
Poke's.
left down there, isn't it?
And then you stay left, there's one house and that's who's this his son?
4. There's 4 houses.
Yeah.
on Lloyd.
No, well, there's only 3 that are occupied all the time.
Right,
Yeah,
right.
You got the one there from
Well,
the Otten boy.
3 occupied and then 2 seasonal.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Well, it sounds like Christopher can follow up with Eversource and look into the speed survey that way. Mary, did you have a question?
Yeah, what is the project that Eversource is doing?
They're just storing things there for future.
Wire.
It's electrical wire, it's big, huge.
it's all the high
High
tension.
tension
Yes.
poles, Mary.
Are they working on something in town that they need?
They have been.
They had, but I think they're using it, so what they're doing is they're using this for a central, so they can go here. Here to this town and here to this town and say, oh, there she goes, got a picture of it.
I believe that night there, we had also had an accident down on 23, we shut the whole road down completely.
Oh,
Right.
right.
So, and that was shut down from,
So,
I'll say by 10:30 that night
Mhm.
until roughly noon time.
Right.
And that's, so there's no traffic going through at all.
Right.
Which road is that?
23.
23.
Oh, yeah, but there's
Yeah.
detours, there's an
Yeah.
option.
Yeah,
Right, right.
Yeah, Shepherd Road, you have no option.
right.
so I think given that issue with the road closed for 4 hours, we have absolute reason to reach out and let them know all of our concerns.
Right,
And
and the fact that we don't have the
Yeah.
bonds that we should
Yeah.
have, so.
Right.
so can we plan to touch base next week, do you
Yeah,
think? Does that
sure.
work?
Yeah.
Does that work for you guys?
Oh,
Okay,
maybe they'll be generous enough to beef up like the Lloyd Road.
Yeah,
yeah, there you go, there's another
So,
option.
doesn't
Or
hurt
you
to
can
ask.
pay for this dirt road.
and one thing to this was about 3, 4, 5 years ago, I don't lose track of time, but. There was something that happened between Shepherd Road and Blair Pond on 23. Is that what it was? They redirected traffic, the eastbound went into Virgil Lloyd. Went down Shepherd, the westbound went up. They used it as a detour.
Really?
Yeah.
And
Was it
there's
bad
only
then?
one lane and it's a bad idea.
Yeah,
But they did use it. They used the
Wow.
tractor trailer trucks and everything, so.
wow,
Just a little.
that's a
history.
thought. Okay,
Yeah,
thank you. We appreciate you guys taking
I
the time to come.
appreciate you listening.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Thank you.
All right. Yes.
Yes, thank you so much.
All right. New business, the report. expenditure report.
Accept it.
Oh, wait, where's my cheat sheet?
Right here.
It's. I can't even get into that age where I start to do this with things,
So I'm glad we-
where I start to go like this.
Oh, no.
Oh, God. It's December.
Want
What
my
month is
glasses?
it? December, 42%. No, I have a headache. 42%. All right.
Yeah.
What do we got?
I know, when I copied it.
It's all right. It's the first couple numbers. The rest is okay.
It's kind of,
Assessors.
he sends it to me that way, I forget to look something.
Assessor's expense is over by like $100.
Yeah, and that, yeah, I'll check with Dr. Hobson on the assessor's expense.
Okay, thank you. It's not, I mean, it's only, it's looks, the percentage high, but it's like,
It's a
100
small
bucks.
overall amount of money, but yeah.
IT, I just love that. Tree warden, you followed up on that, right, Christopher? I think you spoke with him. He's at 72%.
Oh, the outside tree services. Yeah, I have to connect with Mark on that. That's my list.
Can you believe we never used to check this report?
Mhm.
And then there would be like a surprise and all of a sudden everyone would be panicking. Dave, the tree canopy work is over. Was that a miss? Was the budget? Usually they don't let things go through with overage. Maybe something wasn't allocated to the correct spot.
No, it was over amount of money for, police detail.
Okay. So I don't know what the accountant will do with that. It's over by 1,667.
Yeah, we can check with accounting.
Cemetery, you're over. Watch it, you're at 68%.
Yeah, be 80% by next week.
Well. Leave visiting nurses, is that like a quarterly situation? Do we know? That's at 82%.
Oh, Jen's gone. It's a Jen question.
Okay. Well, we're almost out of money.
Yeah.
Oops. My hand is disappearing. I think that's it. Now we're getting into it. Everything else looks pretty good. And then last up, we have the fire chief resignation. Unfortunately, Chief Mater is resigning as of, what is the date?
January 26th. Yeah.
I know that part of the reason this is coming now is no big surprise. It's because of the feeling of not being supported by the town after the last meeting. So like I said, I hope that the volunteer fire departments, I'm sure that some of them are probably feeling the same way, but I don't know if I should just reach out to chief and ask him and see how everyone's doing, or maybe stop by a fire meeting or something. But I did talk to a few at the pancake breakfast and they definitely voiced some frustration. It was really nice, the pancake breakfast though.
I know, sorry.
Yeah, it was fun. But on a positive note, I was saying that this was the first year that pancake breakfast felt like a tradition in town. Like it was like, oh, we have to go to the pancake breakfast, like, because that's what we do every, the first weekend in December. And it was just, the turnout was crazy. The parking lot was packed. They
Great.
put up more tables. I think they did really well.
Yeah, it's fun.
Yeah, my kids refused to sit with Santa, but that's fine. They're
Too big for that.
it's too big.
They said they don't believe in that. No.
Well, they're, one of them.
I don't know, I asked Santa a very personal question from my youth.
Oh, gee.
And I asked him, it's always bothered me, and I wanted to know. Why did Santa Claus know I always needed socks and underwear?
That ain't
He's
quite right.
nosy.
Last year Charlotte asked for a pony and he told her no, and she was. I think that's it for us on the agenda. So, yes, Mary.
What is the chevron that you're referring to?
You know what a chevron is? It's like that kind of shape.
Either an up or a down.
Well, it's actually, in this case, it's left or right because it's those yellow signs that show you when a curve is coming up.
Yeah.
That's a chevron. Yeah, so there's a sharp curve there and that's, yeah.
Learn something new every day.
Thank you.
All right, so, meeting is adjourned at 6:44.
Yeah.
How to do it. I think the town should tune it, where you know, on the website for the assessors.
Yeah.
You don't need to sign anything here. This is
Or the tax rate, it's never posted.
I didn't bring
We went in with $3.
Oh my God.
14.
My horse.
So I think that should be on there.
That you're gonna have.
That also
With the growers that we're talking about,
With our-
or the police.
I know.
Or the police.
Obviously, the person is very often when you have an occasion.
So this is just this is just kind of a
I actually.
breakdown of our
Calls.
Thank
Thank you. What you doing?
I mean, I'll get on the.
Tax rates about to go down again. The tax bills aren't necessarily.
Yeah, so, you know,
Thank you.
It's my spot.
Yeah.
It's the way life is. right?
Oh, that's a good point. Thanks.
Yeah, well, you know what, I was so happy because I put those chickens that you brought me in the.
It's not recording.
And the
anymore, right?
next night I went and rounded mine up. They were, like, under the- whatever, and I put them in.
For 3 months. Yeah.
They doesn't even, yeah, but the two roosters crack me because they're like two, they remind me of two like male flamingo dancers and they like dance around each other. Luffy, I'm like, guys, come on, really? They look like they're gonna just start to go like.
Yeah, exactly, exactly.
I love them.
They are too funny. And the three girls.
Yeah, they're sweet.
They're the little ones.